All right, gang, the day has come. We are finally doing the calisthenics skills tier list. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So I have a bunch of skills lined up down there that we will be going through, and we'll be ranking from S rank being the highest all the way to D rank being the lowest. I will be using multiple criteria to rank these skills, how difficult they are, how functional they are, how they carry over to other skills and other things that you do in calisthenics. And obviously, my personal opinion will be involved. So, without further ado, let's get started, and let us start with the full planche. Okay, so full planche is kind of the staple of advanced calisthenics. Is it functional? In like a real life sense, no. Like, I don't think you're gonna do anything that requires you to full planche in real life. However, in the world of calisthenics, it's huge. One, it's just like the mark of an advanced calisthenics athlete. Like, you can tell if you have a good full planche, you can tell a lot about a person just from that. Because you know that they've been training for a long time. You know it's not a skill that you can get by accident. Like, a full planche is not something you can get by doing weighted pull-ups or weighted push-ups, or like, it's not a byproduct of other things. It is something that you have to train for a lot of time. I'm gonna say at least, if you're super genetically gifted, like a year to get a good full planche. And even then, that means you're like 1% like super gifted, either in your genetic proportions or for some reason, I don't know, maybe you practiced another sport before or something like that, or many more years than 1 year. So it's definitely like that thing that kind of makes you stand out as like, okay, this guy is an advanced calisthenics athlete. He's been doing this. He's serious about this. And it is like the base of so much advanced pushing. Like, it opens up a whole world of things in terms of like full planche presses, full planche push-ups. I think it is interconnected with Maltese training. Other than that, I mean, personal opinion, it is like one of the most beautiful skills in the world. Like, once you actually understand what you're looking at, and you understand like what straight locked out arms means compared to like having bent arms and stuff like that, like, you realize that it's one of the most incredible skills in the world. You're just literally defying gravity. Bang for buck in terms of like love that you get from like random people versus like respect that you get from the calisthenics community, I think it's up there. I think when like a rando sees someone do a full planche, they're like, whoa, that's fucking impressive. I think like when a calisthenics athlete sees someone do a nice full planche, they're like, okay, nice, bro, let's go. So full planche, a nice full planche for me, goated. I'm gonna go ahead and put that all the way up in S tier. Yup. We move on. Next, we have the straddle planche. The straddle planche. So I have quite an opinion on that skill, because part of me, I'm gonna hurt a lot of feelings, part of me does not think it is a skill. Part of me thinks it's a progression towards a skill. Best way to explain it is like a pit stop. You know, it's kind of like you're on a journey to get a full planche, and on the way you gotta stop and fuel up. It's a pit stop. It's a progression. I had a straddle planche, and I like posted videos of me doing straddle planche, and I would like work on combos and stuff, and it's a useful pit stop. It's definitely somewhere like you can go through. The problem with it that I have is a lot of people think it's a destination, and they end up getting stuck in straddle planche. And also, it's like technically quite difficult to master, and so a lot of people end up learning a lot of bad habits in straddle planche if they don't take time to master the straddle planche. So I'm quite torn about it. I mean, you guys can tell I haven't like fully made up my mind about it. Like, there are instances where it's definitely beneficial. Like, I've used it myself when I work with clients and I coach people. For the right people and in the right ways, like, it is to be used. But I mean, I think you gotta be smart with it. And you gotta understand what you're doing in straddle planche. It's just a pit stop. You don't stop at the pit stop and jerk off for a long time, at least. So Is it good? I mean, it's good because it lets you know you're on the right track. It helps you like to build volume and build strength on your journey to full planche. But it's not good because you can get stuck there. You can learn a lot of bad habits if you don't know how to straddle planche correctly, and they are going to carry over to how you full planche. So you're going to have to unlearn them. So it's a little bit of a different activation than full planche too, with the legs being split apart. That said, if you are a girl, straddle planche is definitely acceptable. It's very impressive. As a matter of fact, a nice straddle planche is very impressive when it's done by a girl. I don't think just because like, oh, like you're a girl, so you're not like as strong, so straddle planche is impressive. Sure, maybe that's a part of it. Another part of it is like the reason why straddle planche is hard and it creates a lot of bad habits for people, especially men, is because to have a clean straddle planche that's like protracted, good retroversion, good like glute engagement, and be extended and straight, you have to have really good hip flexor flexibility and mobility, and guys don't really have that. So straddle planche, you've heard everything I have to say about it. I am going to go ahead and put it in B tier. Okay? That's what I think. That's my opinion. I'm standing by it. Next up, we move on. We have the elbow lever. The fucking elbow lever, bro. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say this. This skill is only acceptable to do if you are a child or you are a girl. And as a man. Let's just not. Okay? I feel like a dick saying this shit because it is also like one of those skills that it's like the first ever calisthenics thing that people ever do, but usually they do it when they're a kid. Like my brother, when he was 7 years old, just kind of like did one. So it's kind of like one of those skills that you can just kind of do, but like, do you really want to do it? If you're a kid, if you are under the age of 14, okay, but like to really do it and flex it and like kind of like go almost seek validation by doing it, no. If you were doing fucking elbow levers and posting pictures of it on the internet and you're a man, stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
Is it functional? No. Maybe it builds a little bit of strength in the delt, but there are so many better ways to do that. Is it impressive? Not really, bro. And my biggest quarrel with it, okay, I'm gonna say this, my biggest problem with it is it tarnishes the image of full planche. Like, you just saw me like hold full planche, do a press or a push-up or whatever it is, straight locked out arms, and you're gonna come up to me and tell me that, bro, you used to break dance and you can planche too, and then you're gonna hit me with some bent arm shit. I'm gonna stop talking about elbow lever because it's gonna get my blood pressure up, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that bad boy in D tier, okay? We move on. The impossible dip. All right. For all you guys who started calisthenics in the last year or two, you might not know about impossible dips, which is crazy to me. So I'm gonna start my whole impossible dip ranking rant by saying this. I am biased as fuck. I fucking love this skill because it got me into calisthenics. Like, yes, the first time I saw full planche, I was like, wow, like, that's super fucking cool. I'd love to learn how to do that. That said, when I first saw a beautiful impossible dip performed by Vicky Santoro, a lot of you guys will not know who that is because he doesn't even do calisthenics anymore. But he used to be one of the GOATs back when I started, 2017, baby. When I first saw an impossible dip performed correctly, and then I heard its name, I don't know, something about the name, impossible, and then I tried it, I was like, I have to learn this. I have to learn this skill. And it's one of those skills that like 90% of people who tell you they do impossible dips, they don't actually do impossible dips. They actually like break the rules or the parameters that make impossible dips impossible. And they just kind of make it more possible. But essentially, an impossible dip, when looked at like straight from the side, the shoulder never passes the wrist. Ever. It is insanely hard to do. It is just poetry when it's done correctly, in my opinion. And it's actually a really good exercise. Like, it's a dynamic movement. It works the whole, like, back of your arm. I'm talking about the tricep, the rear delt. I feel like it helps train you. Well, also, it really works the core, because to keep that position, you really got to tighten up. You're working your entire core. It also works your forearms like crazy. How am I forgetting that? It trains a lot of the same muscles that'll get you better at Victorian and SAT in the long run, I think, because I'm working on SAT now, and I realize that there are like a lot of similar, like it's a similar chain that's involved in all of it. And honestly, dude, there's something about it. Like, I don't know if it's like the mystique of it, or like, I don't know, the fact that it's so slept on and people don't really do it. Like, I absolutely love this skill, if you guys haven't noticed. Also, I think it's a great way to transition, you know, when you're doing combos on like high P-bars between, like, let's say Victorians going to full planche, like, dude, stopping and just executing a beautiful impossible dip is just amazing, okay? That said, I'm not gonna be super biased. It doesn't open up like a world of shit. It doesn't like, it's kind of functional, dude. It actually really helps with like the same strength as muscle ups, but like if you have an impossible dip, you probably already have a muscle up. I'm not gonna be overly biased, so I'm gonna go ahead and slap it up an A tier. But yeah, man, yeah, just a freaking amazing skill. All right. Enough glazing of the impossible dip. We move on. Oh, guys, next up. Next up, we have the human flag. Guys, the human frickin' flag. Frickin'. I feel like Bo Nickel.
Frick you, mother frickers.
The fucking human flag, guys. As you can tell by my tone, I do have a bias once again. I am just fucking sick of this skill, dude. I am so sick of people seeing me or seeing anyone do something that is just fucking elite when it comes to calisthenics and being like, oh, cool. Can you do a human flag, bro? Yeah. That's how I feel about it, dude. Literally. The fake Gucci belt of calisthenics. Just fucking loud, shiny, but like for people who really know what's up, it's just like, what are you trying to do here, brother? You know? Don't get me wrong, it's not as easy as an elbow lever, okay? That's what it has going for it. Is like, you gotta be strong. But like, it's definitely a byproduct skill. Like, if you're already strong, you can just kind of do it. And for some reason, it's just like a magnet, bro. It's just this like a certain type of person with a certain type of preferences. And I've seen them in every country, bro. Every single country. Like, every culture, every creed or color. There's just that subsection of people that just love human flags, bro. They either love, like, seeing one, or they love telling you that they know how to do one, or they know someone who knows how to do one. In terms of bang for buck, okay, attention from civilians versus like respect from the calisthenics community, it falls in such a weird place where it's like, dude, people just freaking love it, and then like people who actually do calisthenics fucking hate it. And I think it's because it's just so overrated. It's crazy. And I mean, once again, if you're a girl, you can get away with it. If you're a girl, you will get respect for it. Even from me. If you're a girl doing a human flag, a full legs together. Dude, if you're a girl doing a human flag, you're strong. Like, good job, you know? Is it played out? Yes. Does it have a lot of character? No. Are we fucking bored of it? Yes. A lot of people do it. There's nothing about it that's just... I'm fucking done with human flags, bro. I don't know, with the fucking steps. Like, I'm getting carried away, guys. You know, it's just the world we live in. It just is what it is. For all intents and purposes, I'm going to slap that bad boy in C tier. The only reason it doesn't get put in D tier is because you got to be strong to do it. Like, you got to be base level strong. Like, you can't just be like a 7-year-old kid, you know, doing it like elbow levers. That said, you heard how I feel about it. Let's move on. Next up, guys, we have the muscle up. Okay, the muscle up. See the smile on my face? I fucking love that skill. The muscle up is like the ollie of calisthenics. It's like the staple skill of calisthenics. It's like for everyone. Also, you know, you don't have to be like this calisthenic geek in your room watching anime and shit to do muscle. Like, anyone can do muscle ups, bro. If you're strong with a little bit of technique and training, like, you can get the muscle up. Some people get it like as just get it. Some people just have it. But it's like, honestly, it's this awesome skill that gets like 95% of people who do calisthenics into calisthenics. It's just like hitting a muscle up. They either want to get a muscle up or they like got one and then they just fell in love with the sport. In terms of functionality, it is probably the one that has the most carryover to real life. Like, if you are trying to climb onto the first floor or like climb over a fence or a wall or something, it is going to be like by far the most functional skill to know, because just, you know, the technique of a muscle up, the transition of getting from under the bar to over the bar, it's just super useful skill to have. Also, in terms of bodybuilding, building strength, building your body, building your muscles, it is like the ultimate like buy one get one of the world of just strength training, because it's two huge compound movements that are linked together by this super useful transition. Like, literally all of the muscles that you use to do a pull-up and all of the muscles that you use to do a dip together in harmony as one. It's a symphony of compound movements. Also, it opens up a universe of different things you can do in terms of like tempo of your muscle ups, grip, weighted. It's like, dude, it's the foundation of like the whole sets and reps like branch of calisthenics. To be fair, I have seen so many people unlock their first muscle up. I have been part of the moment when some people unlock their first muscle up, and there's not a lot of feelings like it in the world. I think it's because of where it stands in the journey of calisthenics, because it's kind of like the first thing that you unlock and you haven't had that feeling of like unlock before, that it just like, you see what it does to people, dude. It fills people up with such a joy, and it makes them like, it turns people into kids again. Also, symbolically speaking, I think the whole idea of like being under the obstacle and then like pulling and then like transitioning up and then pushing and then being on top, I think something about that whole process is just like very special. I don't know. I'm not even a sets and reps guy, dude. I do skills and freestyle, and just the muscle up has such a special place in my heart. So for that reason, I'm going to say the muscle up will always have its place in S tier. It is goated forever. If I had an S plus section, I would put it in there. But for now, we put it up top and we move on. Next on our list, we have the L-sit. Okay. So the L-sit is kind of that one calisthenics skill that every adequately fit person can somehow pull off, which is kind of cool. It's kind of sick, you know? It's like one of those moves that people accidentally discover they can do when they kind of like get up out of a chair or something. Or like, you're a kid. You ever been a kid? Wow, how fucking stupid is that? Remember when you were a kid? You know, there might have been a moment where you're sitting on a chair and you just like kind of get up and you just like hold yourself up and you're like, holy shit. You feel like you're an Olympian or strong as fuck or whatever. That's the L-sit. It's a great skill. In terms of like foundational exercises, like when you're learning pull-ups and push-ups and stuff like that, 100% L-sit is a great exercise. It just teaches you how to lock out your arms. It really trains like your triceps, your forearms, a little bit of your delts, I think. Don't quote me on that. I don't really do L-sits anymore. Definitely your core. And it definitely shows you like also like how weak your hip flexors are, which I know a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. So at the beginning of your journey, I would say the L-sit is a very beneficial exercise. It's usually one of the first like real calisthenics skills people ever learn, along with like obviously like muscle ups, and we're not going to talk about elbow levers. When you're past the beginner level and you're kind of like getting into some intermediate stuff where you're learning like planche, tuck planche, maybe straddle planche, stuff like that, you will end up like when you're doing combos using L-sits to rest. Like maybe you hit like a max straddle and then you want to kind of drop set and do a tuck, but you're too tired, so you go to an L-sit and then you come back into a tuck after you've breathed in L-sit for a little bit. So that's pretty cool. Is it like a super impressive skill? No, not really. Like, it's the start, it's the start of getting into skills. Is it that hard? Not really. Like, I mean, by civilian standards, like, maybe, but like, in the world of calisthenics, it's not. It's definitely like a noob skill. That said, it's pretty beneficial. It's got its place in our world. It's definitely like useful. So for that reason, I'm gonna slap that bad boy in B tier, and we move on. Next up, we got the 90-degree handstand push-up. A 90-degree handstand push-up is kind of like that skill that if a civilian sees you do that skill, mind blown instantly. They're like, holy shit, dude. Probably think you've been training with monks or something like that, or the obvious question, were you a gymnast? I will say, it is insanely impressive for like an average gym bro or someone to bust out a 90-degree handstand push-up. Definitely not something that you're going to get by accident. I'm gonna say, I've seen quite a few like random, like, oh my god, this person can just like randomly handstand, but like not really balance, just kind of walk on their hands. Oh wow, you're strong as fuck. Like you can randomly like do a handstand push-up or do a handstand push-up against a wall. But 90 degrees, I haven't really seen that. I feel like it is one of those skills that you're not really going to get by accident. Like, you might be strong enough to do it by accident, but the amount of proprioception and technique used to do it correctly says a lot about you. It means, first of all, you know how to handstand, like how to actually balance in a handstand, which is, something that is to be learned. That's not something that you just know how to do. It also means you have, like, the understanding of the trajectory, because it's quite a, there's a lot of mechanics involved in it. And also, like, you have the proprioception to kind of know, like, when your body hit 90 and, like, the path in which you got to push yourself back up. So knowing how to do a 90-degree handstand push-up says a lot about you in the world of calisthenics. Like, I know as a calisthenics athlete that if I see you do that, like, you've been training calisthenics, and it's definitely going to get you, like, attention, if that's what you're looking for from like normal random people. The crazy thing is, the thing that kind of pisses me off is like a normal random person will think that a 90-degree handstand push-up and a full planche press are the same thing, even though one can be learned in like months and one can't. So that's like my personal quarrel with it, but who gives a shit about that? Like, it's still a really useful skill. It's like takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of training and technique and proprioception. It's very impressive, and it helps. Like, when I was like getting stronger at full planche presses or doing like full planche combos, instead of like sometimes like I do like full planche, like press, negative, press, and then if I didn't want to use a straddle, I would go down into like a 90-degree handstand push-up. So it has its place in planche training as well. It's a useful freaking skill. Like, as I talk about it, I realize more and more that it's like, dude, I was being a little bit mean to the 90-degree handstand push-up. But, I mean, to be fair, like, when we're talking about upper echelon, like, elite level calisthenics, it's not really like that, It's useful. It's nice. It's impressive. But that's about what it is. So, for that reason, I'm going to take that bad boy and I'm going to slap it in A tier. I'm actually going to put it up in A tier. It's a good fucking exercise, okay? It's a staple of intermediate, bordering on advanced level pushing. We move on. All right, guys. Finally, last but not least, we got the front lever. Bro, it's the front lever. Okay, like it is the staple of pulling in calisthenics. It is the beginning of the end of pulling. It's a very interesting skill because it's like, first of all, perfectly horizontal, straight locked out arms. It follows kind of like the guidelines of like the elite static skills. But it itself is not elite, but it opens the door to all this like high level shit. Front lever pull-ups, touch front lever, wide stuff, sat, and more. Victorian. It's just everything comes from, it is the seed from which elite calisthenics pulling takes life. That said, it's also a very interesting skill in the sense that I've seen so many people randomly be able to kind of do it. Like people who are just strong. I myself, personally, I'm not saying that I'm strong, okay? I'm just saying I kind of learned how to front lever almost like at the same time as I learned to muscle up. Maybe like even a little bit before. Was it perfect? No. Was it long? Pause. No. But it was, okay? It was like 2 to 3 seconds. I'll put a video up on the screen. How about that? Check it out. So yeah, it's kind of weird in that sense where if you do have really strong pulling muscles, really strong lats, you have been doing a lot of like weighted pull-ups and stuff like that, or like even if you're a bodybuilder, like I have, dude, my roommate is a super strong bodybuilder, does not do any calisthenics. But he does so much like lat pull down and a lot of like straight arm like lat stuff, and he just can do a front lever. It's crazy. Which also says a lot about the front lever. Like he, for example, has replaced many exercises that he does with front levers and front lever raises. It's a great exercise for bodybuilding as well as like building your skills for calisthenics. Like it's just such a great exercise for the lat. Once you can front lever, you will stop doing like any like it's the best way to train your core. You'll stop doing any other exercises for your core or crunches or stuff like that. Like maybe you'll do a little bit of hollow bodies, but like it's just such a good way to train the core. And bro, every level of progression in front lever is just a whole new world. You know, like you're changing grips, you're going to supinated, you're learning how to false grip, wider, and then, you know, with the touches and stuff. It's a whole world that just emanates from this one skill, which is front lever. And the truth is, dude, in recent years, like, dude, the whole craze for years was about planche and pushing. And I feel like these last few years, pulling has been making such a comeback. Like, it's weird. It's weird to say. It's like getting a full planche is harder than getting a full front lever. So for a long time, people thought like, oh, like pushing planche is like the ultimate, the most goated of all. But the truth is, like, okay, yeah, maybe getting a full planche is harder than getting a full front lever, but getting, like, a sat is harder than a Maltese, you know, for example. Or, like getting super advanced at pull is low-key a little harder than getting super advanced at push. But I don't know. I might be speaking out of term here. I have not gotten sat yet. I have not, like, gotten super-duper elite at pulling. Or pushing for that matter. Oh my god, I'm gonna break my own heart. That said, okay, I feel like pulling is just making a comeback in the community in terms of like how fucking goated it is. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna take front lever. I'm gonna slap it all the way up in S tier because that's where that bad boy deserves to be. And that's going to be it for today. We have covered 9 skills, I believe. I've given you my opinion, my universal ranking for all of them, which is now law. No, I'm kidding. I've given you my opinion, my ranking on all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want me to do another video like this, let me know. There's a ton of skills I can cover. If you want certain skills covered, if you're like, oh, dude, I do this skill a lot. Like, I want to know where it ranks. Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.